Hey, good morning, guys. Today I wanted to make a very quick video about making decisions from the future and not from your past. And I say that because literally last night I was so pent up. I had a lot of raw, untapped emotion, and that's because this whole week I've been feeling such a heaviness and soreness in my heart. I don't know if you guys ever felt like that, especially when you're going through a transformative transition period in your life. You're moving from old wineskins into new wineskins, and you're just really changing as a person. And I felt that heaviness all week. No matter how happy I was, no matter how clear mind, sound mind I was, because I wasn't depressed, I wasn't sad, I wasn't manic. I just had this heaviness in my chest all week. And last night, I really felt the brunt of it, and I was mulling over fake situations, fictitious stuff, overthinking thoughts and whatnot. And I sat there while I was journeying it all out. I was like, God, I feel this. God, I'm thinking this. God, this and that situation. God, I'm a hypocrite. I'm this, I'm that. And then I paused, because I started to get a little sleepy, but I paused and I thought to myself, I was like, what am I doing? I was like, what am I doing right now? And I took like this 1,000-yard view of what I was doing, and I was like, this isn't something that the person in the future would do. And this isn't something that the person I want to become will do. Like, of course, yes, you need a journal about your emotions. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that focusing so much on the problem, focusing so much about the thoughts and the obsessiveness about what I'm thinking about was the issue. And then I stopped and I thought, there's this concept within writing. It's called Solomon Writes, and it's about, obviously, Solomon being the wisest person in the Bible, how he writes all these things about his life and, the lessons that he's learned. But in practice, it's where we can virtually do the same thing, and we write as if we're the oldest and wisest version of ourselves, and we're writing to us now. So, based off of that, and then just really thinking about what the future, and I wouldn't even say the best version of myself, what would the future version of myself, the version that I want to become, the version that's so cinematic in my head, that is just so amazing, would do. And I wrote it all out. I wrote about how this person would lean on God, this person would pray specific prayers, this person would recite certain scriptures, this person would understand that they have to let things go, that they have to be lighter on their feet. They would also understand that regardless of the circumstances and the things that are requiring them to evolve and change, that they are not only able to do so, but they are fully dependent on God making a way. And as soon as I started to write that out, and I looked at all these things that I wrote before and what I would do, and I really just started to change the little thoughts. It wasn't like a magnificent change. This isn't like a boom, I'm cured type of change. But I really just sat there and I said, okay, let's just rest in the fact that I can have peace right now, that everything I wrote is only bearing in my mind, that it's only sitting with me, and that I'm wrestling with it instead of putting it into the palm of someone that already had it figured out. Because I think it's easier to wrestle with yourself, wrestle with your discomfort, rather than understand that God already knew that this would have happened. Even if it would have played out 1,000 different ways, on 1,000 different days, He already knew that you were going to have discomfort, pain, and hardship in your life. But the best part about that is that since He already knew that, He already knew the solution that was to come with it. And for me, especially when I had a hard one-on-one yesterday within work and the things that are being required of me within my job, and I feel very a little discouraged about my ability in this sense, and I sat with myself and I was like, wait, God already called me here. He already put His hand over this, so therefore He already has it figured out. And in the same way, when we're talking about making decisions now, and thoughts and processes, and really to drive the point home here, we can make decisions from the future versions of ourselves that have probably more integrity, more money, probably has a better sense of moral probably has a better sense of morals at that. I would say most of us in our ideal sense of selves, our higher selves, they probably have a better cognitive, recognition of problem solutions and just overall circumstances in life. But we can do all of that right now. And I say that because I'm really in a transformative and transition part of my life where a lot of things I feel like, holy shit, I'm being required to do a lot. New things are coming up. I want to enjoy them. And I'm letting go of old things, and I'm coming from old wineskins into new ones, and I'm being reformed and refined. And I finally feel like I'm getting back to a place where I'm like, yeah, no, this feels like me. I'm like, yeah, no, this makes sense. This is who I am. Like, this is really who I am, and this is really, the maturity that I have with it. And I'm able to hold it a lot firmer, hold it a lot more, but also be very free with it, not so rigid. And yeah, like I'm at that point in my life, and now I'm like looking at the way I'm feeling and how I'm feeling. I'm interpreting it with different knowledge and different skill sets and different presets. It doesn't mean the feeling will go away, but I can tell you this, after doing everything I just talked about, that I just feel a lot lighter. And this isn't a cure. Like, this isn't a cure for everything. I'm not saying that it is, but I just feel a lot lighter, and I felt heavy the whole week. So just to sit with that for a moment, I think that doing that in practice, really visualizing yourself, really visualizing the things of this person that you want to be, and really sitting with God, giving everything to God, committing everything to the Lord, really bringing Him before you make decisions, really bringing Him, and that's not to say take 4 weeks to make a decision. That's just really inviting Him and knowing that His hand is over your life and whatnot. That's a whole other topic, but yeah, that's where I'm going to sit with today. And I really invite you guys to do the same when you guys journal, when you guys do your own little reflection. But that being said, guys, I have to hop out of here because I'm sitting outside of a motor vehicles, and I have to go get this car registered. But I really do wish you guys have a wonderful and blessed weekend. I want to see each and every single one of you win. And yeah, always remember, stay true, stay you, and stay blessed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.